We talk all things mom, boss, and growing our businesses. Welcome to BizMomCoaching, the #1 channel where the real heroines, moms in business, support you through their journeys to help build your business. Here you will see that you are not alone in your business journey. Moms often have the exact same struggles, and we are here to support you. Subscribe and join our mom business community. We would love to network with you. Remember to watch until the end, when I will share how you can access the most effective ways to structure your online business to grow faster and have more time. Exactly what all us mom bosses yearn for. Let's get started. Welcome to BizMomCoaching. Today I'm speaking with Morgan, the cheeky copywriter from writingfree.net. She is a mom and she loves helping mom entrepreneurs discover their unique brand voice. She helps her clients to stand out in their field and then develops copy that helps them shine. Welcome, Morgan. And I really just love that you are the cheeky copywriter. That is such a catchy phrase.
Thank you.
How did you come up with that? Are you really that cheeky? I assume it's it just states that you know what you are doing.
Well, it's actually, I wanted to show people that copy could be fun and it could be creative and it could be fresh. Because a lot of times when we're online and we're looking at sales pages or even, Facebook ads, a lot of them sound the same. You get a very similar rhetoric going on, and I just wanted people to see that doesn't have to be the way. We can have fun and we can do fun things and have a unique brand voice.
Oh, so totally.
Kind of where, yeah.
Yes,
so
I love that. And as an entrepreneur, that is what we are looking for. I want to stand out, and we need someone that can actually bring that unique voice into our brand. So that's really amazing. Okay, great. So tell us a little bit more about your business, exactly what you do, how do you help people, how long have you been in a business, etc.
Okay, so my business is copywriting, but I also do a lot of branding and brand voice work and messaging because it kind of all falls under the same umbrella. I love to help, like we were saying, the mom, not just mompreneurs, really just entrepreneurs and small business owners. I find a lot of people are in like a competitive market, I deal with a lot of even just coaches or sometimes other copywriters, but they just have the same messaging as everybody else. They're like, oh, I'm a coach and I help entrepreneurs scale their business. And I'm like, okay, well, what makes you different? And that's really what I dive into with people is I try to help them find that thing about them that makes them stand out from everybody else. And then we align their messaging with that so that their, potential customers can understand why working with them is going to really change what's going on. So that they can kind of realign themselves and really get in touch with their ideal clients.
That is exactly what I'm focusing on in my business specifically as well. How do I stand out? And at the end of the day, you're really looking for someone who can actually bring that out. And I just love that you're focusing on that, because I think many people that help people with copywriting, especially, they're just trying to write copy. And you really need someone who can dive into the differentiation aspects of the entrepreneurial journey of that specific person. So what is your business origin story? When and how and why did your business journey start?
So I started this business, my own business, in January. I have been writing for years with different content mills and things like that. But that fire really took a hold of me when I started going through my divorce. Because I left my ex-husband and he took all the money out of the bank accounts, refused to pay child support. He got me fired from my job. He called them and told them I was going to do, I don't even remember what, but I wound up getting fired. And I got a kid to take care of. I have no money. And I kept trying to just get other jobs. But when you're going through custody battles and you're dealing with someone who's not a very nice person, he wound up taking me to court 4 times a month over stupid things. So employers don't like it when you're going to court once a week. So I really had to figure out something that was gonna work for me so that I could actually work and bring in an income and not be terrified that, oh man, now my kid's got a fever and I have to stay home with him. It's like that's an extra day called off of work, and I didn't want to have to live with that stress anymore. And that's what really made me like, all right, I got to do this. I got to do this for myself and have my own business so that I can be there for my kids and, be there to take care of them. And it's kind of just snowballed from there.
I am all about taking control of your own journey and, getting in control of your own life. The difficult thing is if you work for a boss and life happens, you're stuck. So I really love that you have done that for yourself and also for your kids. That is such an amazing thing to do. So if you knew what you know now, would you do it all over again?
I would have done it sooner. If I had really realized what I was capable of, when really pushed, I would have done this so much sooner. My ex did a lot of trying to tear me down, and it took a long time for me to realize that, he's wrong and I got this and I can totally do this, and once I realized that, I'm not going to let him hold me back anymore, I was really able to start finding, my love even for just writing again. He was even trying to tear that out of me and I didn't let him. And now it's like, I'm just so happy that, I didn't let somebody else ruin my dreams for me, and I found that inner strength. And I just think that's so important.
I agree with you. And I think it's all about empowering yourself. At the end of the day, there can be so many people that's trying to tear you down and disconnect you from this entrepreneurial journey. But if we can empower ourselves, then no one can take that away from you. So I'm really happy for you that you were able to do that. That is really great. So let's talk a little bit about mom business life integration. How do you integrate your mom life with your business and your family responsibilities? It's all about integration. How do you do that? How do you cope?
So I definitely like to have separation. I think that that's super important because for a while I felt like I was constantly picking up my phone to check messages, to try and connect and network, and just constantly working. And I had to really set boundaries for myself to make sure I had the time that was specifically for my kids and then the time that was specifically for my business. That made a huge difference. And then just having a bit of a schedule, okay, I know I need to get the laundry done this day, or I have to have dinner ready by this time. So I kind of try and have that little schedule in my head, even if it's a little flexible. I found if I'm too rigid, it doesn't really work for me because sometimes life happens. Okay, I was going to do laundry today, but my kid threw up and now he's home with me and I got to take care of him. So maybe I'll do the laundry tomorrow. But just having an outline of what I need to get done definitely seems to help too.
I like what you say about the boundaries. That really helps. And also perhaps getting some planning in place. Then you know exactly, what's going to happen. But like you say, sometimes life do happen and you can't always escape the things that come up. So you must be flexible as well to a degree. But yeah, it sounds like you have more or less a system going. So at the end of the day, you just really want something that is working for you and your situation. I don't think really an ideal solution to the integration. You really just need to find what is working for you and your family specifically.
Yeah, definitely. Because everybody's needs are going to be different, and even your kids are different, so it's just not everything is going to work for everybody, but just, really focusing on finding that rhythm that works for you.
Definitely. I totally agree with you. And I agree with that finding a rhythm. That makes so much sense because then everyone knows more or less what is expected and what is going to happen, but the flexibility factor as well. What is your biggest struggle or frustration within your business?
So I love and hate the mompreneur title. because I love it. I personally think it's amazing. And I think the women who do it are amazing. I can't, like, some days I'm just so proud of like all the women I work with, because I'm like, yes, let's grow your business. But then on the other side of it, you get those people who are like, oh, well, you're just a mom entrepreneur. I'm like, just because I might do this from home or I might have kids while I do it doesn't make my work any less important or any less impactful. So like, especially when you're in like a little bit more of the business world with, like more solid brick and mortar kind of companies, sometimes I run into that once in a while. And then that's when my fiery side comes out, because they usually see that cheeky copywriter part come out. I've definitely given it to people a few times on interviews, but like job interviews.
That's a good thing.
Well, you know what? I did get hired from one of them, so they were like, you know what? We actually loved your spirit, and we didn't realize, that we were unfairly labeling moms who might work from home, and that they could still accomplish exactly what they said they were going to accomplish. So it really worked out.
Oh, that's great. Yes, I must say this whole mompreneur thing there's a little bit of controversy around that. You get your people who are really fond of it and love it, and then you get some of the people who feel like, no, I'm a business mom, or I'm a business woman. It makes them feel like you say, some people think it's a term that describes someone who is a little bit less than, and that is not true at all. Being a mompreneur is such hard work. It's very interesting to see how different people resonate with the term. I found people who really hate it, and then there's people who love it and want to be associated with that. But at the end of the day, we are all moms, and we all are growing our businesses, and that is the most important thing. And I think we need to see each other as such, and not really look at the term so strictly as we have been doing. It's hard to grow a business irrespective of the term that is connected to that.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to talk a little bit about business investment, time, money, and help. So have you ever invested in any type of program or coaching, or did you just start your business and do everything on your own?
So I definitely believe in investing in yourself, and I've invested in a couple of courses, as well as I use some programs to support me, because right now I'm not quite ready to release some control and hire someone else to help me. I'm definitely moving in that direction, but I'm also very type A, and I'm I'm a perfectionist, which is good for when you're writing, but it's not good for letting other people help you run your business. But I'm definitely moving in that direction, and I think it's good to, really, when you need the help, don't be afraid to reach out and ask for it. And that's what I've been trying to do, because I know writing, and I know copy, and I know psychology and people, but I don't necessarily know social media or marketing, as far as the social, on the social media platforms. And I've been, getting more information from other people and learning more about that to help me. And I think it also helps my customers too, because it gives me even more knowledge base to be able to have better references for when I am writing. So I think it's just all together. It helps you, and then it winds up helping your customers. So it's always a good thing to invest in yourself.
Yes, that is so true. But I do agree with you to the point where you say that we are not always ready to, let go of all the control. I think it's important to know exactly what is going on in your business. And if you just get people and you outsource, and you get the help from the get-go, you might not understand all the little bit of intricate parts of your business, and it's important to first figure out a little bit, and like you say, when you're ready, it is really a good thing to invest and get the help so that you have hands. I don't know if you have any help with your kids. Do you have anyone who helps you to take care of them? What do you do with your kids while you are working?
So during COVID, it was we've started to open up back now. So it was just me, and it was a madhouse. But you know what? My kids got a little more screen time than I was happy with, and sometimes you just have to make those choices. But I don't think it makes you any less of a mom or a parent. And now that because everybody's different. Some moms just really rock it, and they can somehow like get their kids to go play with this thing while they're over here. And I'm like the mom. I'm like, nope, here's your iPad. Have half an hour on your iPad. But now they're actually back in. They're in like a preschool kind of. Well, my son's in like a little school program, and then my daughter is in daycare. Then they just go a few days a week.
Okay.
But my business has been just growing so much that I feel like they're going to get more. Yeah. I'm like, I don't have enough time. And my daughter's father, my fiance, he was like, well, let's put them in daycare for a few days. He's like, we have a daycare we love. They're like a little Christian. They're very like on the up and up. And I just adore them. They're wonderful with the kids, and they're wonderful with instilling good values. And I don't worry about them when they're there. It's just, I know, hard for a lot of moms. It's like the hardest part when you're worrying about where they are.
Yes, I think it's always difficult for moms to, let go of the kids. But if you have found a place where you really feel comfortable with them, and, it's very difficult. I think most moms really find it extremely difficult to work while the kids are somewhere around them. I homeschool my kids, so they're at home with me 24/7. So I had to get some help to have some hands, because otherwise you just cannot get your work done properly. So I totally agree with you. It's necessary to get the help. And if that means, having your kids go to school for a little while so that you can get some work done, then so be it. We need to also have some time where we can focus and grow our businesses.
Yeah, everybody needs support, and everybody's going to be different. Everybody's journey is going to be different. Like, I commend the moms that homeschool, because I can't do it. I have tried, especially when we had to with all this stuff going on. And I was like, these moms are amazing. Like, I don't know how you guys do it. It's awesome. But the fact that you guys do, I'm like, teach me. Teach me your ways.
Luckily, my kids are still very young. So it doesn't really require that much time investment at this stage yet. But yeah. I have an au pair that comes and helps me with some of the homeschool work. Mm-hmm. I do a little bit, and she does a little bit with them as well. So you need to have help, and then you just try to integrate and balance whatever time you have with what help you've got. So I won't be able to do that alone, I must admit that. So it's really important to invest where you can in help to get people to take that load off your plate as well. I like to people who do everything themselves. I don't know how it's possible, because like you say, with this whole lockdown situation, there was a few weeks where I was like working so little because I just couldn't do everything. So the investment is really worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
So how do you feel about your organizational and time management skills within your business? Do you have a steady strategy that you follow? Do you have any advice or input that you can give to other moms in business who really struggle with that?
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend a lot of automation where you can, because I've found that if you can show up on your, like if you're doing, I do a lot of organic marketing, so a lot of it comes from social media, and I found that when you can show up every day, you can really reach more people. It just helps your algorithms. You're just in such a better place, but that's really hard for us, so I've found automation really helps. So like I have a program that automates my Instagram posts and my Facebook posts, at least like on my main pages, and then I'll try to go in a few days every week and interact, because you just have to get your face out there. That's like the best way to get your marketing off the ground and really get in front of the right people. So I kind of have like a little schedule for that, of like I'll do maybe 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, depending on how much time I have on my platform. So it's not a ton, but I definitely try and schedule that in there. And I also like to schedule like a loose schedule of everything. And I found I put blocks of time that are like flexible, so that when life happens, I'm like, okay, I couldn't finish this piece of work here, but I have this half an hour over here that I can fix it, and finish what I'm doing and kind of fix my schedule and get it back on track. So definitely, and then if I wind up not using it, then I just have some free time.
Oh, yeah, I'm all about automation as well. I think that is the way that, every business owner needs to go in order to really gain that traction and be able to focus on the things that is more hands-on and that you need to do as the CEO of your own company or as your own business. So I love that. And I also love that you mentioned the time blocking, because that seems to work really, really well. I find, in my own business that gives me a lot of control over my days, and also, with the work that needs to be done. So,
yeah, this is my planner. It's huge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I have I love this thing. So I have my months, and then I put all my big important dates. And then I don't know if I have them all planned out in the beginning here, but I have all these big blocks of time. This is the beginning of the year. I wasn't doing it as visualistic as them, but that's a whole day, that whole column. And I now will plan out most of my day, and I'll have all my time blocked out. And like I said, it's loose, so it can shift a little, but it really helps me.
Yeah, I think that looseness gives you a little bit of just not being so stuck, and also it will stress us up so much if we know there's no movement with our time. So that is important, I think. But I really love how you schedule everything out, because like I say, the control is so important. And I think that is what every mom entrepreneur specifically needs to do, especially for us moms. We are trying to integrate everything, and there are just so many parts to a day. So that really is so important. So then, as a mom in business, what is most important to you in life, and what inspires you?
So really, my kids are my world, and I just love spending time with them. But I also am a very driven, career-oriented person, and I've always been that way. I've always wanted to be able to help other people and have a really impactful business. And it just kind of, finding that freedom to be able to be there for my kids while still being able to accomplish my goals and build a successful business. And it's also fun to prove my ex wrong, He swore I could not survive without him, and when I left, I was like, I am going to show you.
You're gonna make it. Yes. Yep. No, that is something that is so common amongst mom entrepreneurs or the moms in business, mom bosses. It is the kids being the inspiration behind it. And also, I find that the bigger purposes that moms have with their business, they really want something that is impactful. And I just love that, because I think that the moms who grow their own businesses just make such a positive impact in the world, and they change lives, and that is just something that is so wonderful to be a part of. So let's help some moms out a little bit. Moms who are looking for community or network or support. What type of persons or pages do you love to follow online, and what platforms do you use to network on?
So I do a lot on Facebook and Instagram, and then I kind of started my YouTube channel, but the other day I actually filmed 2 months worth of content, and I've been editing it and getting that automation again, so I'm getting that posted up there. So I like to go on those network, and I love talking with other moms and other female business owners. They're the people I seem to connect with the best, but really just people who are inspiring, that are, I've always firmly believed in the theory of service before sales. So a lot of the stuff I do, even if we're just doing like my 20-minute mastering your message session, it's usually free. I usually don't charge for that. And I really try to give people, as much value as I can in those 20 minutes. And even if you don't want to, work with me or buy something from me, I don't care. As long as I've helped you in those 20 minutes really improve your business and given you some clarity that you might not have had before, that's like, I'm good. My day's done. Like, I'm happy, so just other people who feel the same way about that, they're the people that I really love to connect with, because I think it's all about lifting up other moms and other women.
Yes. I think that moms have such an advantage to help each other, and we should make use of that, and inspire each other and help each other to achieve what is possible for each and every one of us. And what is your opinion on effective ways to grow a business? As moms, we have many additional challenges. So how did you go about that?
Yeah, well, definitely the automation strategies that we talked about before. Another thing I found that really helps, because content can be really hard to plan sometimes. You sit down and you're like, hold on, what am I going to do now? Like you get that, I call it the blank. Yeah, I call it the blank page syndrome. I actually have a guide to try and help people kind of work through it. But I think just if you can, once you get through that, if you can, brainstorm, brain dump, think about what your customers need, what you can give them, and kind of go from there to plan out your content. It's a really good thing to just kind of dump it all out. You do one of those big brain dumps, they're my favorite. And then from there, you can pick out the things that you can use. And also don't be afraid to repurpose them. So I have a YouTube video about, where I'll talk about brand voice, but then I'll also talk about brand voice in like maybe 5 or 6 different Instagram posts, and I'll just make that video a little shorter and give those same points there. And then I might use my blog, my video, and I might put it on my blog and then add some writing to it too. So like I can kind of repurpose that content around my different platforms so that it's not a struggle to try and come up with new stuff every day, because you're going to get different people and different audiences in your different spaces. So you have to remember it's okay to reuse it a little bit. You're still giving value. It's just, you're going to give value to your YouTube people and to your Facebook people and to your Instagram people. And I think that really helped take some of the stress of trying to create all the time off your plate.
Yeah, it's so effective to repurpose your content. And while we are talking about content, I really agree with you with the point that you made a little bit earlier about scheduling your content and batch creating it, and so that you don't get stuck and not know what to do, and so that you can focus on your business growing activities more. Those things are already planned out and you can repurpose them on all your different platforms, so that doesn't take so much time of your day. Because I think all as business owners, got stuck in that little rut of, we know we need to post on Instagram, Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, but at the end of the day, then you don't have enough time and you don't know what to post. So it's really important, like you say, to really learn how to just change your content a little bit and then repurpose it, because that is something that I think new people, especially new entrepreneurs, they don't really focus on that, to learn how to do that soon enough, and then it takes so much time out of your day. So that is some of the first things that you need to teach yourself to do, or get someone like yourself to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you definitely need to avoid the burnout. And I think that's the wall a lot of people hit when they first start, because they feel like they either have to do it all themselves or they, for whatever reason, need to. And I totally get it, because I've been there. But finding those automation strategies definitely are what made the big difference on not getting to that burnout point.
Yes. Have you ever gone through a burnout period?
Yes, definitely. When I was first starting, I just felt like I was trying to come up with new content every day, and I felt like I was struggling to, show up every day. And then it was like I was putting so much time into my marketing that I felt like I wasn't spending time connecting with people and actually, finding ways to help them. So it was like I felt like I was only doing half the marketing. So like I was getting out there, but I wasn't making that connection with people, and I wasn't helping to build that like, know, and trust. That's so important for people. Like if they don't know who I am and what I can do for them, I can't help them, because they're not going to know to come to me. So it's like, you got to make sure you have all the sides.
Yes, that is so true. That is a common mistake for many people and entrepreneurs, is they focus so much on growing the business that they forget the importance of that networking to build that trust. And that was a mistake that I also made in the beginning. And as soon as I started networking the groups more and getting to know people, that changed everything. And I enjoy my business so much more because there's that depth to the business, and also you have that connection with your audience.
Yeah, and definitely also putting those call to actions out there. I find a lot of people, they come to me and they're like, well, my offer isn't selling, or nobody wants to buy this, or nobody wants to work with me. And then when we start reviewing their website or their social media accounts, I'm like, you never asked them to.
Oh.
You
Exactly.
have to,
People
you
do
have to
ask them. Yes. You have to tell people what to do, otherwise they won't do anything. So that is a really important point you're making.
Yeah, because you can do that. Most people don't do it because they're afraid that they'll come off bossy, or they're too salesy. And just be genuine. Yeah, just be yourself, and don't be afraid to say, hey, can I help you with this? Or even a simple social media post where you say, comment below and tell me what you think. Stuff like that just gets people engaged and gets them talking to you. And when we open up those conversations and those connections, it's when we can find ways to really help people.
That is so true. So I agree and resonate so well with everything that you have said. And it was so lovely to chat to you. Please, just before we go, I want you to just tell everyone where they can get hold of you.
Oh, sure. Yep. So you can find me at writingfree.net. That is my website. You guys can also reach out to me via email. It's thecheekycopywriter@writingfree.net. Or you can find me on Facebook. You can just find me on Writing Free, or you can search Morgan Van Eck, VANECK, and you guys can friend me. I love making new friends on there.
Oh, yeah.
And if anybody has any questions, or if you want to, chat with me, I'd love to help you. I really just love helping other moms.
Oh, that's amazing. I really find everything that you've said so true and also inspirational. I love the journey that you are on, and I think you have empowered yourself so much. And I just know that you are going to reach so much heights within your business. And I really appreciate your time. So thank you so much for chatting to me today.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun talking with you today.
Mom entrepreneurs need to work smart and structure their business effectively more than anyone, due to business and life with kids often overlapping. A business that is well structured enables moms to focus and progress better. All the complex parts within the business are properly clarified and systemized. When all parts work according to a plan that brings results, it eliminates the overwhelm, and it makes projects and processes within the business easily manageable. It means growing your online business faster, more effectively, and leaving you with more time for the things that matter to you. Isn't that what moms need most? Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you for watching. Until next time.